Hello and welcome back to Smash Hit Sports. The 2023 college football season is finally come to an end. The Michigan Wolverines are your national champions, 15-0, undefeated, despite all the controversy, cheating allegations, recruitment violations, 6-game suspension for Harbaugh. None of it matters because your Michigan Wolverines are the 2023 and 24 college football national champions. Nick, what are your thoughts on the game? How do you feel after watching last night's performance?
Yeah, I mean, Michigan kind of just showed that they deserved it. They earned it. They even got Paul Feinbaum to change his mind. I don't know if you saw that clip, but Feinbaum said even if Georgia was in the playoff, he still thinks Michigan would have won. And I know, obviously, he was not saying that all season long. So, yeah, I really think the best team won it. It was just so hard for people to understand why and how they were the best team. Even now, some people are still saying, like, oh, well, that 2014 Ohio State team, they would have crushed them. They're the better Big Ten championship. Blah, blah, blah. I think we just got to give Michigan their flowers. They were really, really dominant this year, and they deserve it. I mean, Washington was a really good team.
And I'm going to be very honest. I cannot stand the, this and that and that. Well, if Oklahoma or if Georgia didn't get screwed by the refs against Alabama, blah, blah, blah. There's no reason to discredit what this Michigan team did. Like they went out wire to wire and kicked ass in every game that they played.
Yeah.
In every game that they played, they went wire to wire and kicked ass. And the only time that they didn't was against Alabama. So they did a phenomenal job. And I know a lot of people shit on Michael Penix a little bit for his performance in the national championship game. Did he miss some throws? Yeah, he missed some throws. That Michigan defense was so fucking good, dude. That Michigan defense, outside of maybe 2021 Georgia, I'll probably give the nod to 2021 Georgia. That's the best defense we've seen in the college football playoff era ever.
2018 Clemson's up there. Don't.
I will put 21 Georgia at first. I will put this Michigan defense at second, and I will put that Clemson defense at third. And that's not a knock.
Maybe
that's not a knock on that Clemson defense. Those three defenses were absolutely outstanding. JJ McCarthy could have fucking thrown the ball with his left hand and won this game.
Yeah, he
didn't have to do anything.
Formation. Right.
They did at some points. They threw an orgy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you could tell that Penix had in the back of his head, he was probably banged up here and there. You could see him holding his rib. He knew when he snapped the ball, he didn't have time to look at his second read. He knew the rush was coming. Even when it didn't, in his head, he's saying, I know it's coming. So, if like for all of those people out there that haven't played ball, right, that don't know what that feels like, it's basically just completely changes you as a quarterback. You're going to look worse. And I don't think we can judge him because this is probably the first time he's had that since he played in the Big Ten back with Indiana. So, yeah, he missed a couple throws, but I don't think it should drop his draft stock. I really don't. Especially after what he did against Texas, you know? Like, we saw both sides.
But here's the thing, too. I don't think his stock should have risen to a top 10 pick because of what he did against Texas. Obviously, that's the ceiling. We've seen at his peak what Michael Penix can do. But just because he played at his peak for one game doesn't mean that is the new Michael Penix. You know what I mean? Like we've seen what he's done. Look at the course of what he's done all year. He had some incredible games. He played phenomenally well in the playoff against Texas. He played outstanding against Oregon in both of those matchups. And he also played like shit against Stanford. Like he played like shit against Stanford or Arizona State.
Well, I don't know. Washington State a little bit.
Washington State, he didn't play well?
I can't remember the Stanford game. I have no idea. I can't remember that game.
But there were times, and that's why, to me, Michael Penix wasn't the Heisman, is how they played, you know, certain points throughout the year. Like he's great. He was never the best quarterback in this class. Not first, not second, and probably not third. However, he's still a good quarterback. I think he should go in the first round, especially because there are a lot of playoff teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who could use a quarterback. So by no means, I just don't
Ba-
think. I
Baker
think
hater.
I'm not a Baker hater. It's just is he the long term guy for Tampa Bay? Like, is that what
We'll
you're willing
see.
to ride on?
Maybe.
But that being said, an awesome game. That Donovan Edwards, he had a better first half than he's had in any game all season this year. I
Yeah.
mean, what a comeback story for him.
I mean, he went untouched to the casa twice in the first quarter. It was unbelievable. Just basically, like for him, it was probably like recess. Like he just gets the ball. He's more athletic than anyone. He's not even worried about getting hit or touched, and gets to score 2 touchdowns. Electric for Donovan Edwards. Did he declare, or does he have to declare? I don't know if we figured that out because we were talking yesterday.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah,
I didn't see
like
I didn't see that he declared. So I don't know if if he does have to or not have to. I don't know the situation there, but
regardless, if he chooses to, he should be in a running back draft class that isn't necessarily top heavy. He's kind of solidified himself after that performance in kind of that middle crop tier of running backs that go third, fourth round and something like that. So good for him there.
Yep.
I also want to say about Penix, just before we move on a little bit from him, like the Texas game, I think that he is a top 10 quarterback in like this upcoming draft. I think he should go top 10.
Oh yeah. Oh, top 10 pick.
Top 10 pick. I think the Texas game, arguably the Texas game, got him to like that's the number 1 pick. How he played against Texas. That's someone that if he's going to play like that, I'm going to spend my number 1 pick. I don't care what I have to give up to get him. I'm literally, that's number 1 pick in any draft ever. But then what he did against Michigan, like my thing is yeah, he should not have, after Texas, you're not going to pick Penix number 1. You know that that's the top of his game. But after Michigan, I don't think you can be like, well, he's a 3rd round pick, 2nd round pick guy. I agree he's a 1st round pick. For me, though, given where the teams have kind of laid out, I think he's Falcons at 8. I really think that makes the most sense by a landslide. It just obviously depends if 3 quarterbacks go before that, which I think they should. But that's all I wanted to say.
It'll be interesting. The other stars of this game, Blake Corum played outstanding. I mean, he was tremendous, especially in the second half. Michigan averaged 19 yards a carry in the first half, which was just or in the first quarter, which was absolutely insane. I think it was close to like 10, 11 yards a carry in the first half as a whole. Will Johnson, their corner, a hell of a game. He had that interception in the first half. And then I'm going to be honest, I'm going to butcher the guy's name who got the second interception. I'm not even going to try it, but he played outstanding. That defense, they were phenomenal. What do you think of the what was his name?
Well, I'm just thinking Will Johnson because I was thinking like number 2 on Michigan. I was thinking maybe that's who you're talking about, but that's Will Johnson, and Will Johnson.
Yeah, no, that's Will Johnson.
Popped off. But yeah, I have no idea what the other guy's name is. Again, Cody and I were on TikTok Live yesterday, so if anyone's listening to this that was also listening to that, it was tough because I turned my volume down, but I was kind of watching through Cody's TV, but also kind of watching through mine.
Which is insane to do, but
yeah, props. And like mine was a little bit behind, and it was just kind of like I wasn't able to, kind of glue in on who was making every play. So, which is, that's just the sacrifice I had to make. But yeah, I do not know the
Yeah.
answer to
It was Mike
who the hell this guy
Sanderson
is.
is who it was. Which again, an absolute stud. This defense is there's going to be a lot of guys who go in this draft, but they don't have there wasn't an Aiden Hutchinson on this defense. You know what I mean? They don't have any guy who's like, oh yeah, he's going to be a top 10 pick in this draft.
Oh
Probably
yeah,
not.
definitely not. No,
Probably not.
Rod
But they're going to have
Moore. I love
they're going to
Rod
have a
Moore.
ton of guys go.
I like
They're going to
Chris
have a ton of
Jenkins,
guys go.
Junior
Jenkins is a
Colson.
dog.
But the thing is, I think like Will Johnson, I don't even think he can go into the draft. I think he's a true sophomore.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. So like they do have guys returning that are dogs, you know. But a lot of the seniors are leaving.
Yep. Speaking on people leaving, Harbaugh.
Mason Graham.
Harbaugh, is he gone?
Who's Harbaugh? Harbaugh should leave, yes, because he's reached the top of the mountain. So, and like he's yet to win an NFL Super Bowl, right? And, I think given that his brother is still coaching the Ravens, like he could go back. There's so many teams that need coaches as well. Even like Mike Vrabel just got canned today, which is crazy to me. So the Titans have an opening. Lots of openings. I think Harbaugh has to leave.
Yeah. I think he's going to be done. The two, or there are three coaches to win a national title and a Super Bowl. It's Pete Carroll, Jimmy Johnson, and Barry Switzer. I
don't know Barry Switzer off the top of my head.
Switzer was Cowboys head coach. I think he did it first. I think he won first with the Cowboys, and then I think maybe Johnson won first.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, yeah, he's the Cowboys lore god.
Yeah.
I don't know Switzer though, but obviously Pete Carroll is one. That one's during my lifetime at least. So yeah, I mean that would be really cool for Harbaugh.
I think Harbaugh could do it.
He's also if I'm Harbaugh, age that Carroll was, right? So like he could go to the NFL, just stay there for 13 years if he wants to, and just build a legacy that way.
If you're Harbaugh, where do you go? What's the most enticing opening job?
Well, being from Northern Virginia, a lot of
if you say the Commanders, I'm just gonna laugh at your face. Okay,
trust me, I'm on your side where everyone's saying like we need to get Harbaugh. I'm like, you guys are not going to even sniff Harbaugh. There's no way. I know that what they're doing to like their GM situation, new ownership, like it should genuinely become a more welcoming home for potential head coaches, but not right now. It's still too fresh. He's not going there. I mean, my gut call says, no. If Belichick leaves New England, legacy-wise, that'd be interesting. But if you want to go somewhere that actually has some potential to be good, I would say the Falcons opening is probably the best, right? Because
I'm gonna go the Chargers, dude. I think it's got to be the Chargers.
I think the Falcons have a better roster, but
I would rather be tied to Herbert than whoever's going to be with the Falcons.
Both teams have been mismanaged aggressively.
Oh yeah, without
for the past 3 years. It's just been I mean, the Falcons have just been oh my god. What Harbaugh could do with Bijan Robinson, it is such a crying shame. Bijan barely had 200 carries all year. He barely averaged 10 carries a game in his rookie year. The freshest you're gonna get him. It's crazy to me. Crazy. So, but yeah, both would be interesting.
Yep. The other points from the national championship before we just kind of look at the season as a whole. A lot of praise being given to JJ McCarthy. I think he's earned it. I don't think he's the face of a team that didn't have a huge face. You know what I mean? If there were to be a guy on that team that would just have been an absolute stud, I think he would have been the guy. But I mean, JJ McCarthy was good. I don't think he's, the best quarterback to play in the history of Michigan or the best quarterback.
That I am seeing people tweet that is McCarthy the best Michigan quarterback ever? It's nah.
No.
I don't think. I don't think so. Not even really all that close. I mean, even what, like, was it Denard Robinson or who?
Bro, that's NCAA 14 cover,
Yeah,
Denard
yeah, yeah.
Robinson. Fuck yeah, dude. He
I
was
mean,
electric.
he was on the cover of the damn last football game. Like, as far as legacy goes, he's gonna be more remembered. Well, I guess
No, he
McCarthy
won't.
has national
No, he
championship, but
won't. Yeah.
dude, I mean, you talk to
McCarthy's got a title.
any man from the age of 15 to 35 can
Okay,
point
who's
to
on the
that game and
NCAA
say
cover the
Denard
year
Robinson,
before?
huh?
Who's on the cover the year before?
Well, exactly. That's my point. Is that just
Yeah, that's what I'm
legacy-wise,
saying. Once
everyone
the new
knows the
ones
Michigan
come.
guy that's on the cover of the last game.
Yeah,
Everyone
well,
knows
what?
him.
Speaking of the new one, fucking bullshit that we didn't get any sort of.
Yeah, we got teased so hard. It's brutal.
I am so mad at EA Sports. EA Sports, you are just the worst. I hate you. Everything about EA Sports is the absolute worst since like 2012. After that, every Madden has just been a reskin of the old Maddens. They've added nothing new. Everything is Madden Ultimate Team, which is the biggest money grab in the world. It's loot-based gambling for children, is all it is.
Yeah, it is.
Like it seriously is. Like you buy MUT packs and hope you get good guys. Like that, it is gambling for children that EA Sports is profiting off of. They stopped making college football. I understand why, and then they stopped making NFL Street, which is a crime in and of itself. That game needs to come back. EA Sports, pull your head out of your ass. I hate you.
I'm gonna say that if this new college football game resembles Madden in any way, shape, or form, I will be so upset. Like,
I will not be buying a second version. Not
it
a
needs
chance.
to be so different, and I really hope they understand that. Like, I don't even want any of like the fucking like graphic animations to be the same. Like,
Yeah,
I like literally make it entirely
ground
different. Ground up, yeah. So we'll have to see. But I'm kind of like worried now because it seems like they're just teasing us. Like, is it even ever gonna come out?
Yep. Keeping it moving to 2023 college football as a whole. We're moving on from a lot of things, Nick. First and foremost, the 14 playoff. It is over. It is done. The end of an era. Some people liked it. Some people hated it. But regardless, we move on. We're headed on to the 12 teams. I know we are on the same page here that we're looking forward to the 12-team playoff. But
100%.
it'll be it will certainly be different with how teams are discussed early in the season, how we evaluate teams and schedules. And because in the college football playoff era, it was beneficial to not play anybody in order to try to go undefeated, right?
Yeah.
That way you made the college football playoff. In the bowl championship era, you didn't have there were multiple teams that could go undefeated, so strength of schedule really mattered. It did not in the college football playoff era.
In the 12-team era, where it's almost like a loss doesn't mean anything anymore, which some people are using that as their argument, that it's like, okay, I mean, obviously it matters who your loss is to, but if say you look at Michigan's schedule next year with Texas, Washington, Ohio State, Penn State, you name it, if they lose one of those games, they are so clearly still going to be in if that's their only loss. So it's kind of just like you're welcome to have 5 top 25 matchups in a season. Lose one of them, win the other 4, you're in. Good for you. Whereas if you had 0 and you won all of them, that's much less exciting. And in a 12-team playoff, you'll probably still make it, but it's going to be a lot harder to end up scheduling like that. So I feel like it's just for those early games, it might make things a little more climactic. But by the time you reach the end of the season, every single game is going to matter. Because instead of having like the number 3 team versus the 10 team, that game matters. But like your number 12 versus number 15, that game doesn't matter at all because they're both eliminated already. Every game is going to matter by the end because every team come November, December is going to believe that they have a path to make it. And I think that's going to be good for the sport.
Yep, I cannot wait for that. The other thing that we are saying goodbye to is the Pac-12. So long, sayonara, see you later. The Pac-12 is no longer going to exist. We'll have the Pac-2, which will be interesting with Oregon State and Washington State. Now we'll still have the Pac-12 for college hoops.
Thank
but
God.
it's still it's going to be weird. SMU is joining the
ACC.
ACC along with Cal and Stanford, which is super weird.
You know what's wild, Cody, is I honestly think SMU, they could go out and win the ACC next year. Like
no, not a shot.
Oh my
not
God!
A shot.
What do you mean not a shot?
They won't have a snowball's chance in hell.
I could not disagree more. I think they
lost to Boston College.
Yeah,
in a bowl game.
In a bowl game, but listen, they have a really good returning core, and the ACC is losing. It's basically the ACC is a hodgepodge of mid-major group of 5 players just joining up, transferring in. I think they're going to be preseason top 25. I would put $1 million on that. And
that's
If
interesting.
they are, they're going to be one of 3 teams that are preseason top 25 for the ACC. Yeah, fair. I mean, this is obviously barring, some late end decisions or injury news. There are a lot of things that could go into it, but it's crazy to me that they could just join the ACC and be extremely competitive immediately, which I think they will be.
That being said, the Big 12 is going to look completely different. Adding Utah, I think, is going to be an awesome addition into the Big 12. Adding Arizona, I think, is going to be an awesome addition into the Big 12. And then the SEC, adding Texas and Oklahoma in the first year of, whatever that scheduling system looks like. It'll be really interesting, really fun. I think it'll make for some good football. Any other things that we are saying goodbye to in the era of
the SEC on CBS is gone, which is, so sad for me.
We'll see if they keep that theme, if they keep the college football on CBS.
For the Big Ten? I bet they do.
Yeah. Because, don't get me wrong, they played the college, that song, right, for the Notre Dame Oregon State bowl game, which was played on CBS, and it fucking hit. I know.
Oh, it'll
I
hit.
Understand,
it'll still hit.
I understand it was not, Ole Miss, Alabama, or whatever, but
it's crushing.
God damn it, it still fucking hit.
Yeah, I can literally pump fists to that whenever.
Yeah.
Play it at the club, but there's something about even when Vern Lundquist was on the call, we don't even have Lundquist anymore, but him saying welcome to SEC on CBS presented by Home Depot.
Yeah.
Arkansas playing Mississippi. I don't care who the game is. It's just like the cowbells, the fans going crazy. Sunny day in the South. Oh man, I am gonna cry when they have Northwestern Rutgers on at 3:30 on SEC on CBS. It's just. It makes me sad. So yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of things are changing, and it's gonna be cool though, Cody. In 10 years, when we look back, or even 20 years, if we have children, and we're you would have loved the 4-team college football playoff.
Yeah.
Era. We're gonna eventually talk about it as this such unique era in time that we just lived through so aggressively, and it's gonna be cool when that comes around.
Yep. I absolutely cannot wait. 2024, it should be a lot of fun. This will be our last football talk for a while. So if you enjoy college hoops, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. We will be talking college basketball. If you're watching the YouTube version of this, the college hoops video will be out shortly. So go check that out.